Virgo, November is pregnant with possibilities. For some of you, literally. For others of you, you are about to give birth to some serious abundance. There may be some people around you, though, who may not be as enthusiastic as you are. But doesn't matter because your abundance is assured. If you'd like to know more about what's going on for you this month, keep watching and I'll explain all about it. What's up, Virgo? It's your girl Mel of Divine Feminine Works, and as always, I hope that this video finds you well and in excellent spirits. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. This channel is everything tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. So if those are the things that interest you, if those are the things you love, if those are the things you want to learn more about, don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so you'll always be notified when I come out with new content. And speaking of content, head over to Instagram and follow me at Divine Feminine Works. Every day I give loads of amazing content on tarot, astrology, spirituality, and manifestation. All right, so head over there and follow me. All right, Virgo, this is going to be your Astro Forecast and Taroscope for the month of November 2021. As always, you know the deal. We start out with the astrology. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the month starts out with Scorpio season, specifically the sun being in the sign of Scorpio. And I find that people either love Scorpio season or hate it. A lot of people associate it with Halloween, with darkness, with all of that kind of stuff. And Scorpio season tends to be a very intense season, arguably the most intense season of the year. And that's because our focus and our consciousness is directed towards death, towards transformation, towards rebirth. This is the time of year where we venerate our ancestors. This is the time of year where we focus on really big changes, making changes in our life, things changing, things ending. And, sometimes people don't really necessarily take to that too well, but be that as it may, that is the essence of Scorpio season. And that's how we start out the month. Thereafter, on November 4th, we have the new moon in Scorpio. And of course, as always, new moons are all about new beginnings. It's about a fresh, clean slate. And this particular new moon is going to have us focus on creating intimacy and transformation in our lives. Like I said, Scorpio season, all about transformation. So this new moon, if you are looking to really transform something in your life, if you're looking to put an end to certain things, to bad habits, if you are trying to start something new, regenerate something in your life, this new moon is going to be the new moon where you do it. It's going to be opposite to Uranus in Taurus and square to Saturn in Aquarius. So there's going to be this element of surprise. There's going to be this element of shakeup, but there's also going to be a little bit of resistance, particularly if you're talking about regeneration, rebirthing something. Saturn, the square to Saturn is probably going to make things a little difficult, probably provide some obstacles, but it doesn't mean that your new beginning isn't going to happen. It just means that you're going to have to kind of work at it in order to get things going. But regardless, this new moon is going to be very powerful again in the sign of Scorpio on November 4th. Thereafter, on the next day, we have Mercury transiting into Scorpio on November 5th. And Mercury in Scorpio, just like I said before, how the sun in Scorpio is all about us focusing our consciousness on death, transformation, rebirth. Mercury in Scorpio sort of takes that a little bit further and has our thoughts really geared towards that. Everything about Scorpio is substantive. It's deep. It's truth-seeking. And that's where our thoughts are going to be going while Mercury is in Scorpio. It's also about like psychic abilities. It's all about telepathy. It's all about intuition. And it's also about addressing our emotions, particularly repressed emotions, and sort of making sense of them, trying to figure out what they are, processing them, all of that good stuff. Mercury in Scorpio is also about substantive communication. Scorpio is anything but superficial. Scorpio is very deep. And so with Mercury in Scorpio, how we speak to people, how we relate to other people is going to be more substantive. It won't be so much superficial sort of pleasantries and, all of that, kind of bullshit. It's really going to get deep, and we're going to be able to communicate with people on a much deeper level. All right, so that's Mercury in Scorpio. That same day, Venus is going to be moving into the sign of Capricorn. This is, again, November 5th. And Venus in Capricorn is very serious. Venus in Capricorn is serious love. It's commitment. Some say it has to do with soulmates and things like that. But apart from just relationships, Venus in Capricorn is also about long-term investments. It's about creating a nest egg. Capricorn is very much about status. It's about stability. And when you have Venus in this very sort of rigid sign, love is about providing. Love is about money. Love is about being taken care of in a tangible way. Okay. And, again, love gets serious. It gets practical. It gets down to earth. And Venus will be in Capricorn for about a month or so. So during that time, that would be a great time to start a financial plan, start saving. If you want to add more money to your 401k, Venus in Capricorn really allows you to do that with ease. So you'll definitely want to take advantage of that energy while it's in there. All right. Now, the next thing is the full moon lunar eclipse on November 19th. And this is sort of the star of the month. Eclipses are like full moons and new moons on steroids. And this one in particular happens to be a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. Okay. So this is like a full moon on steroids. It's like really the final culmination to some of your manifestations, or it's like really shining a spotlight on something that has been hidden for a while. I want you to think back, if you can, to May 2018. That is where this eclipse is sort of coming from. That's where this energy is sort of, that's how this started, right? And it's going to end with this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus on the 19th. And it's important to understand sort of how eclipses work. And they work typically on an axis. This particular axis is Taurus and Scorpio. And this particular full moon lunar eclipse kicks off a season of eclipses along the Taurus and Scorpio axis for the next 2 years. So all of the eclipses that we're going to have over the next 2 years are going to be along the Taurus and Scorpio axis. And Taurus and Scorpio really, if I had to sum up what they represent, it's about resources. We've got Taurus on the one end, which is about personal resources. We've got Scorpio on the other end, which is about shared resources. I mean, there are different interpretations of Scorpio and Taurus, but for the most part, it's about resources. It's about tangible things. It's about having tangible things in your hand in Taurus and sort of emotional resources with Scorpio. Superficial stuff with Taurus, deep stuff with Scorpio. And that's sort of where we're going to see this play out over the next 2 years. Now, this is a partial lunar eclipse. It's not going to be a full lunar eclipse. So keep that in mind as well. This is going to, like I said, this is going to bring to light intentions that were set at the new moon in Taurus in May, thereabout 2018. So think back to 2018. What were you working on at that time? Taurus tends to be tangible. So there may have been tangible physical things you may have wanted to manifest then. You may finally see that manifestation come to fruition under this full moon lunar eclipse. And depending where this falls in your sign, this is where, this is the area of life that's going to be seriously illuminated under this eclipse. And so that is sort of how that's going to play out. Again, that's sort of the star event of the month. It's nothing to be alarmed about. It's not some catastrophic sort of event. It's just something that's going to be really in your face. Something you may have been working towards for the last 2 years. Something may come to light. That's not necessarily bad. It may be something good that may come to light. But again, that's how that eclipse is going to play out. And again, that is on November 19th. Moving right along, we get to the sun moving into Sagittarius on November 21st, and that marks the beginning of Sagittarius season. Sagittarius season, I love it because it's very larger than life. Sagittarius is bold, it's adventurous, it's huge, it takes up space, and it's unapologetic. And that's sort of how we're going to be feeling once the sun transits into Sagittarius. Sagittarius favors long-term travel, higher education. So once the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, you may want to, go back to school. You may want to take a trip, but your thoughts may be focused on things that are kind of big. Sagittarius is really about like skipping the details and really looking at the big picture of things, particularly when it comes to things like religion, philosophy, law. So it's like, I always feel like during Sagittarius season, we all have these grandiose ideas and we think about things like philosophy and humankind and all of these things. Sagittarius season really stretches your mind. And that's exactly what's going to happen when the sun moves into the sign of Sagittarius, again on November 21st. And finally, the last thing that we have is Mercury moving into Sagittarius on November 24th. So Mercury started off in Scorpio, right? Well, actually it transitioned into Scorpio early in the month, and our thoughts were very deep. They were very substantive. Our communication was very deep and intense with people. Now when we move to Sagittarius, it's more bold. It's more in your face. It's more adventurous. Your thoughts are larger than life. Mercury in Sagittarius also favors foreign languages. So foreign languages may be something that comes to mind, something that you start learning about when Mercury is in Sagittarius, particularly with the sun also being there as well. It just favors different. You want to experience new things. You want to broaden your horizons via your thoughts and your communication. So you may find that when Mercury is in Sagittarius, you communicate with people who are much different than you, people who have a different perspective to add to your life. Mercury in Sagittarius can be very exciting because it's out of the norm. It sort of steps outside of the box and experiences different things that add this richness to your life. Which is a nice transition because Scorpio season, like I said, can be very intense. With Mercury in Scorpio, it's like we're really thinking about our emotions. A lot of us sort of turn inward towards our repressed emotions, really diving deep into our subconscious, into our psyche. And after that, with Mercury moving into Sagittarius, now we're able to have some fun. We're able to broaden our horizons, experience adventures, experience new things. And like I said, add this richness to our lives that some of us really need. It's good to, stick with what you know. But Sagittarius season sort of has you break the mold and experience new, exciting things. So it's a very exciting time. And that's how we end the month. So this month is looking pretty good. There isn't too much turmoil, although Scorpio season in itself, being that it's so intense, things can come up, particularly repressed emotions, like I said before. But other than that, pretty chill month. The full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus is going to seriously bring things to light, depending on where Taurus is in your chart. But other than that, we're looking at a good month nonetheless. All right, Virgo. So for you, astrologically speaking, November is all about your third house of communication and ideas and your fourth house of home and domestic affairs. So when the sun is in Scorpio, the sun will be lighting up your third house of communication and ideas. And this house also covers siblings, extended family members, short distance trips, skills that you learn, technical skills that you learn. All of those things are covered under the third house. And if we're talking about Scorpio, Scorpio is very substantive and Scorpio is very investigative. Definitely Scorpio likes to get to the heart of the matter, to the truth, to the bare bones of things, right? And so with that, you're going to find that that's where your mind sort of wanders this month. Rather than think about things superficially, you guys think of things very substantively. Okay, because Scorpio is always your third house. That's how you think naturally. But with the sun there, it's like you're going to be aware of your deep thoughts. Even the way you communicate with people, just in your day-to-day activities and just your normal run-of-the-mill conversations is usually pretty deep and substantive. And you're going to be very aware of that right now. This may also be the time where you want to take some short distance trips, maybe a little trip across country, maybe a little road trip, someplace local. It even covers places you've been to before. So maybe you're going to a city you've been to before while, the sun is in Scorpio, that kind of a thing. This may also highlight issues with your siblings, with your extended family members. Scorpio is very in depth and deep. And so some of these things that arise with these family members may be a little deep, maybe a little emotional as well. So that's sort of how the sun in Scorpio is going to play out for you. Next, we have the new moon in Scorpio, which is happening on November 4th. And again, this is going down in your third house of communication and ideas. So if you have any new day-to-day projects, if you have any short distance trips that you want to take, anything that you want to begin with siblings or extended family members, you're going to want to set those intentions at the new moon. Okay. So moving right along, we've got Mercury in Scorpio as well, which is going down on November 5th. And again, this is in your third house of communication and ideas. So how you relate to people, how you relate to neighbors, siblings, extended family members is going to be in a very deep way. And communication will probably ramp up as well. Mars is also going to be in your third house throughout the month of November. And when Mars is in the third house, that means your day-to-day activities are on fire. Your mental activities are on fire. You're just very busy. So November is going to be a pretty busy month for you. November is going to be a pretty busy month for you, Virgo. And with Mercury in Scorpio, it's communication that's not necessarily verbal. It's intuition, it's psychic abilities, it's telepathy. So the way that you speak with your siblings, the way that you speak with your neighbors and people in your community, groups that you are involved in, is going to be more intuitive and a bit deeper and more substantive thanks to Mercury in Scorpio. All right. That same day on November 5th, we have Venus going into Capricorn, and this is going to highlight your fifth house of self-expression. Venus in Capricorn is all about long-term love. It's about commitment. It's about status. It's about money. And these are the things that are going to be highlighted in relation to how you express yourself, your creativity, your romantic partners, and maybe even your relationship with your children if you have any. Venus in Capricorn is all about providing. It's like, I show love by providing a roof over your head. I show love by taking care of the bills. That's the kind of love that Venus in Scorpio is in. And if you're talking about kids, that's sort of how you're going to be showing your love, okay? And they better appreciate it, right? Because that's a big thing to do. It's also about long-term investments. And particularly if we're talking about Venus, we're talking about creative things. So if you are an artist, if you are a musician, you may want to start putting money into your creative endeavors, because in the long run, while Venus is in Capricorn, if you do that, in the long run, these investments will pay off. So if you're a creator of any sort, Virgo, you definitely want to capitalize on that energy when Venus is in Capricorn. So definitely get down to work, set those, make those assets, put those things together, because over the long run, those creative endeavors are going to be money-making assets for you. Okay. So then we move on to the full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, which is happening on November 19th. And that's sort of the star of the month. Full moon lunar eclipses are like full moons on steroids. And I want you to think back to May 2018. May 2018 was when we had a new moon in Taurus. And at that time, you set certain intentions with respect to higher education or long distance travel, because Taurus is your ninth house. And the ninth house covers higher education, long distance travel, and broadening your horizons and expanding your mind. So maybe at that time you decided, I want to take a trip around the world. Now at this full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus, now you may be ready to go on the trip. Everything may be set for this trip to happen. Maybe you applied to school, higher education. Maybe you applied to law school, grad school, college, whatever. Now you're going to start, or you're going to start taking classes. That's sort of how this full moon is going to work for you. Full moons also illuminate. So things that are foreign to you, things that are at a distance from you, may be illuminated under this full moon. Maybe you have property. Maybe you have personal resources. Maybe you have a bank account, an offshore bank account someplace. This full moon is going to call attention to that and shed light on that. So if you've got some tax issues, honey, this full moon is going to bring that out, okay? So just be prepared. But otherwise, the full moon is just going to illuminate these ninth house issues, all right? And that's going down again with the full moon full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus, which is going down on November 19th. Then the sun will transit into Sagittarius on the 21st, and this is going to light up your 4th house of home and domestic affairs. 4th house is very cozy. It's very private. It's very stay at home, work on your home kind of a thing. Sagittarius energy is large and in charge. It's very bold. It's exciting. It's new. It's doing things to broaden your horizons and expand your mind and experience new things also. So for some of you with the sun in Sagittarius, you guys may be experiencing new and different things with family members. The family dynamic may be changing in a bold and exciting new way. Perhaps there's going to be additions to the family now, since the ruler of Sagittarius is Jupiter, and Jupiter expands. So we're talking about a home expansion, a family expansion, new and exciting changes, big changes happening on the home front. That's pretty much what we have to look forward to with the sun moving into Sagittarius, and that is going down on November 21st. And then finally, we close out the month with Mercury going into Sagittarius on November 24th. Think about everything I just said. Expansion, large and in charge, all of those things, and related to communication. So your communication with your family is going to be larger than life. You're going to be communicating more, perhaps. You could be discussing or thinking about home matters more. So maybe some of you, if you are in the process of a renovation, buying property, renting property, your paperwork and stuff like that might increase as well as things get underway. Okay. Talking to your parents a lot more might happen with this Mercury transit into Sagittarius. So basically anything having to do with home, that's where your thoughts, that's where your consciousness, and that's where your communication is going to be for the month of November. All right, Virgo. So that has pretty much been your astro forecast for the month. Now that we've gotten the astrology out of the way, let's get into the tarot and see what messages Spirit has for you. All right, Virgo, you know the deal. We always start out with an oracle card for an overarching message, and then we move in for specific messages with the tarot. But this month I'm trying something a little different. I'm going to be giving you guys 3 messages, 1 general, 1 love and relationship, and 1 career and money. All right. So without further ado, let's get into it. Right? We'll start out with the general message. So Spirit, what general message do you have for Virgo for November 2021? Okay. All right. We've got chaos and conflict. Okay. Don't be alarmed. Don't be alarmed. It's not as dire as it seems. All right. So chaos and conflict is literally that. It's things are changing. What I love about this card is I want you to take a look at it, right? It appears to be a zebra, but that's got some sort of giraffe type print on it. And we see the giraffe type print coming up, and we see, the zebra print, the natural zebra print showing through. This speaks very much to scorpionic energy. Scorpionic energy is about getting to the heart of the matter. It's about getting to the truth. And scorpionic energy can be a little chaotic, right? It's Scorpio's traditional ruler is Mars. Its modern ruler is Pluto. And so it's about destruction. It's about change. It's about being headstrong. And for you, with Scorpio being your 3rd house, and with the sun in Scorpio highlighting your 3rd house of communication and ideas, I feel that this one, there's going to be a little shakeup. There's going to be a little chaos and perhaps a little conflict with respect to your siblings, extended family members, your neighbors, or just in your general vicinity. You might be in a neighborhood right now that's experiencing a little upheaval, a little turmoil, that kind of a thing. Mars is also in Scorpio for the entire month of November, and that probably attributes to some of this conflict that this card speaks about. There could be fighting, there could be tension in your immediate vicinity, in your immediate environment, or with siblings and neighbors. Let's get some tarot cards. Let's get some more cards to see what this has to do with, okay? All right. So why is this chaos and conflicts card here? What does it really mean? What is it pertaining to? Okay, we've got two cards. We've got the Empress and we've got the Star. Okay. This is not going to be for a lot of people, what I'm about to say. For some of you, you may have a sibling or a family member who's getting a lot of attention because they're pregnant right now. And it's like, it's causing a little jealousy. It's causing some conflict. Like they're having like their time in the sun. They're having like their moment. And you're just like, I'm over it. For some of you, this may be you. You may be the sibling that's going through all this. And your other siblings or your extended family members are like, man, fuck this bitch. That may be what's going on. For others of you, there are things in the works, okay? Things you've really wanted for a long time that you're actually getting ready to give birth to. And it's causing conflict in your immediate vicinity. Like people are sort of hating on you or people are just feeling some kind of way. That's the energy that I'm getting with these two cards. Let's get a third card and see what else we have here. Family room. Can I tell you, this particular card has been coming out for almost every sign this month. This has to do with a sibling, someone very close to you, someone who is, they know your business. Let's just say that. That's how close to you they are, is that they know your personal business, okay? And they see you like getting things. They see you reaching for the stars. They see you being abundant right now, and it's sort of rubbing them the wrong way. Again, could be a sibling. It could be an extended family member. It could be people around the way in your neighborhood, in your community, but there's some kind of tension there. All right, let's move on to love and relationships. This is love and relationships for Virgo for November 2021. Let's see what we got. Okay. I like this for you. This is optimism. Okay, what number is this? This is 47, which is 11, which reduces to 2. Yeah, some of you are like partnering up. Some of you are literally like about to get pregnant or really give birth to some serious abundance, something that you've been wanting for a long time. And like I said, there's going to be some chaos and conflict. I feel like people are going to be, they're going to show their true colors, okay? It's almost like when good things happen to you, listen to the people who don't congratulate you. Like look at the people who don't congratulate you, who don't cheer you on. They're about to show their true colors, okay? And these people are very close to you. And Spirit is just saying, I need you to be optimistic at this time. Like fuck them haters. Anyone that has anything negative to say, anyone who wants to throw a wet blanket on your picnic, like fuck them. It doesn't matter. Stay optimistic. And stay optimistic about your love life as well. Let's get another card on this and see what we have. Virgo, love and, oops, that's too many. This is Virgo, love and relationships, November 2021. Yeah, that one flew off the table, and I usually don't take the ones that fly off the table, especially like that. But let's keep going. Virgo, love and relationships, November 2021. All right, we've got the devil. No cause for alarm. This is someone who you're going to be like stuck with. This signifies a commitment. This signifies a tangible attachment to someone. This also signifies a Capricorn. So some of you may be getting into a relationship with a Capricorn or someone that has Capricorn like tendencies, or this relationship is really going to pop off during Capricorn season. But regardless, stay optimistic about this. Things aren't as dire as they seem, is what Spirit is saying right now. Let's get... There's a lot of earth energy here. So like I said, some of you are going to be giving like physical birth, like to a child. Others of you are birthing something very tangible and long lasting. Okay. Oh, I like this for you, Virgo. Privileged lady. Okay, this is a step up in status. All right, this relationship is going to elevate your status. It's going to elevate you. It's going to have you sitting pretty. So you've got this situation here where you're leveling up. You're giving birth to things. Tangible things are coming into your life. You've got this committed relationship on the way, and you've got haters in your vicinity that are not going to like it too much. But Spirit is like, fuck them. Doesn't matter. All right. So now let's get into career. So what's going on for Virgo for career and money in November? Okay, we've got the crossroads. So this signifies this 2 and 2, 4. Okay, some of you have a decision to make with respect to your career. Maybe there's different directions that you can take your career, different ways that you can go to make money. And now you're at a crossroads where you have to figure out which way to go, what you're going to do. And I feel like all of these options that you have with respect to career, they're all sort of equal. I don't see one outweighing the other. I just see you having to make a choice. Like they're all equal choices, which makes making a choice a little difficult. But that's always a good thing. It's always a great thing to have options. All right. Let's keep it moving. All right. We've got the Justice card. So there's this energy of reciprocity, of fairness, of equality when it comes to your career and money. Money is ruled by Venus. Venus covers money. Libra, which is the Justice card, is also ruled by Venus. So there's a very Venusian energy to your career this month. Whatever choice you make, you need to weigh out all the options and be very fair to yourself. But I see, again, you see how these scales are balanced. Whatever options you have, they're equal. They're equal in measure. Maybe both options will give you the same amount of money. Both options will give you the same amount of enjoyment, right? So it really comes down to a personal preference. Okay, let's get one more card here to close this out. This is career for Virgo 2021 November. Oops. What else do we have here? Okay. We've got bad health. All right. So what this is letting me know is that it seems like your career was not doing the best before you got to these crossroads. So there was a problem with your stability where maybe you weren't making as much money as you wanted to. Maybe your career was sort of stuck and stagnant and things weren't looking so great. But I feel like this November, you're going to be presented with options with respect to your career that are going to help you with stability. And both of these options, they weigh exactly the same or more. They could be more than 2 options, but they weigh exactly the same. So it's really a matter of personal preference. So all in all, career is looking up after a period of sort of not so good, like, bad health when it comes to career. Okay. But let's recap as far as this reading is concerned. 1, things are looking very good for you in terms of relationship, in terms of money. I see you giving birth to something or someone. You do have some haters in your midst, but it doesn't matter. Be optimistic. Stay optimistic because there is an elevation for you this month, particularly when it comes to status. This is you, the privileged lady or man. We're not gender specific here. This is an elevation in status, in social standing, in money. The privileged lady has money. She's a rich bitch. Let's just say that. That's here for you this month after a period of this bad health when it came to your stability and your money. But things are looking up. Just remain optimistic. Your job this month is to remain optimistic and forget about the haters. Don't pay them no mind because your abundance is on its way. All right, Virgo, that has been your Astro Forecast and Taroscope for the month of November 2021. I sincerely hope and affirm that you guys receive at least one important message from this reading. Speaking of readings, if you'd like to book a personal reading with me or order an astrology report, those links are in the description box below, so don't forget to check those out. And while you're checking things out in the description box below, don't forget to check out my website and sign up for my newsletter. Everything I talk about in these videos, I send to my newsletter subscribers and more. You get freebies, you get advice, you get challenges, you get a whole bunch of great shit on a regular basis. So link is in the description box below. Don't forget to subscribe. As always, my loves, everything I do is a labor of love and comes straight from the bottom of my heart. If you feel so inclined and would like to tip me by buying me a coffee, and tips are always greatly appreciated, I will leave the link to that in the description box below. Virgo, fuck the haters. Stay optimistic. Don't give a fuck about what anyone else is saying around you. It's irrelevant. Your abundance and your elevation are imminent. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.